Hey. Sure, let's head back. We can talk later. I could use a drink. Hey, if you want a drink, something to eat, knock yourselves out.
Hey, that would be nice.
Hey, Rigmor. Did your father ever tell you about the war?
No, he didn't talk about it at all. I knew he had been a soldier, but I never knew anything until his arrest. The stuff I read about him in books, I didn't want to believe it. It wasn't the person I knew.
Yeah, those scumsuckers in the Imperial City changed all that. Your father was a hero, a true Nord. Our Berserk army sometimes had them running before they even drew their swords. Of course the Altmer fought, and with courage. I respected them for that. But we were all betrayed by the Concordant. Meade sold us out, the bastard.
What was he like? My father, I mean. Really?
Like I said, a true Nord. He never broke the rules of combat. And all of that about war crimes, that was all dog crap. Character assassination that came after the war. Dreamed up by Imperial politicians with their noses buried in Thalmor backsides.
The Empire sold you out?
Hell yeah, but we weren't done with the elves. Not until they rescinded their blasphemy against Talos and restored him to his rightful place among the Nine. Ragnar had all his captains together. He said, "Tell the men they can either go home to their farms or join me in Hammerfell." Every single man, every one of them, roared and bashed their swords against their shields. Girl, that was a sight to behold. Ragnar! 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 We spent a year in Hammerfell. I believe today, true as my word, if we had not been there side by side with the Red Guard, Hammerfell would have fallen. They hated him for that. But I'm still curious about your companion, Rigmor. Let's hear your story. Why are you here? Hey. You've got to be kidding me. This is serious. Yeah, it all seems to make sense, but why should I believe all this? I'm going to look a damn fool if it's not true. Ulfric will have me crucified. What if it's another pile of lies? What if it's not true?
Ingol, it is true. It is. Please.
Enough. When the time comes, I will be honored to fight and die by your side.
No, I didn't mean...
Guardian, go tell your man Bendar, or whatever the hell his name is, he has his army. Leave Ulfric to me. Oh, and if you see that old goat Cassius, tell him I send my regards. Ask him about your father, Rigmor. He has a very tall tale to tell. Farewell.
I'm sorry, Okay.
Look, I'm wearing a skirt. A dress. You know, it really suits me. How do I look? I wonder if the Legion wears underwear.
Okay, focus.
Hey. Well met. I've been expecting you. This changes things. Have you spoken to Ingle? I bet he does, that old fox. And I take it this pretty young thing is Rigmor?
Well met.
Please, sit and help yourself to refreshments. What is it? There have been raiders crossing the border here and ransacking the farmsteads. I had the outpost built in an attempt to put a stop to them. Does he now? I like to cause him a few sleepless nights from time to time, but these raiders are a more serious cause for concern. My presence has deterred them from this area, but now they are striking other areas and returning to Fort Dunstad. I can't cross over the border into the Pale to deal with them, for fear of it being seen as an act of aggression from Dawnstar. Are you suggesting a special operation? I like the sound of that, Guardian. You would have my gratitude. Excellent. It's not far from here. Follow me.
Bandits, raiders, and thieves! You have been warned to stay out of Empire territory! You have chosen to ignore the warnings, but I give you one last chance to disband and disperse!
Well, if it isn't Captain Foron of the Imperial Guard, aren't you missing something? Like your army?
Maybe he's drunk on mead, and those other two are his drinking buddies.
a maneuver on. We know how to throw a party.
Well, they were warned. My conscience is clear. You ready?
Come on!
That's it.
Come on!
You won't leave here alone.
Let's see. I think you're bleeding.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Say I didn't warn you. Come on!
Don't say I didn't warn you. Hey. Let's check inside this villa. Make sure we got them all.
What was that? Is someone there?
Hells wills it!
Dark days, Rigmor.
Was that really necessary?
Ingol said you knew my dad.
Indeed, I learned a lot from him during the Great War. His men were unparalleled on the field. We fought at the Battle of the Red Ring together. Later in Hammerfell, he saved my life. I remember it as clear as if it were yesterday. Would you like to hear about that battle?
That sounds great.
The end was drawing near. The battle had been raging for 2 days, and it was the Dominion's final push. They thought they had the victory in their hands, and sent in everything they had. Their elite guards at the front, the rest of their army following behind. Trumpets, conches, shields bashing, horns. The noise was tremendous. The Dominion arrows blocked out the sun and turned the day to night as they made their way steadily up the hill. The wind blew in dark storm clouds from the east and it began to rain. It poured, rolling thunder above our heads. The roar of 10,000 men as General Jonna rode down from the hill to personally dictate the battle. Jonna gave the order, and the Nords charged the Altmer elite guards head on. There was an almighty crashing of shields on steel armor, and the Altmer front line was shunted back 10 yards by the sheer force of the Nord shield wall. They tried desperately to break through it, but the hammers and broadswords behind the wall fell on them time and time again. Still the arrows rained down on us. Still the rain poured down on us, but Jonna made us stand. We waited and waited. Finally, he gave the signal, the Legion to advance in rank and file on their left flank. Our horns and conches sounding, bashing the sides of our shields above the roar of the battle. We inched our way toward until we were 10 yards from them. They came charging on us as one, but our line held, and inch by inch we pushed them back. The clash of steel deafening. Word swept through the ranks that Titus's army had entered the Imperial city. Titus! 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 We roared. Then it happened. The Dominion command left the field. Their army faltered and broke ranks. 15,000 men fling the battlefield, throwing away their weapons, armor, anything that would slow them down was discarded in the panic. The Altmer elite guards stood to and died to a man, refusing quarter offered. Your father was decorated on the field by Jonna himself.
Cassius, you mentioned my dad saved your life?
Ah, yes. I was in the ranks back then. After the Concordat, I left the army and settled in northern Skyrim. I was thinking of buying a mill with my army pension when I heard of the resistance in Hammerfell. So I offered my services to the Redguard High Command. I found myself commanding a battalion, mostly volunteers. We had been attached to the 5th Army, which was making a push deep into enemy-held territory when the treaty was signed. We were cut off and had been ordered out of territory still controlled by the Dominion. Panic started to set in and it became a full rout. The elves descended on us and began cutting us to pieces. Men, women, children.
Women and children?
Dark days, Rigmor. The army was scattered and we had taken on thousands upon thousands of refugees, all running for their lives. The baggage train was 5 miles long. The rivers ran red with blood. It was a massacre. We had to ford the last great river before safety, but we were all stranded on the wrong side of the bank. It seemed there was no hope. the desperation was almost too much to bear. Of course, the soldiers were fighting a desperate rearguard. I myself at the helm of my men. There was at least 50,000 refugees now, only about 2,000 fighting men left. The relief effort arrived and boats were slowly coming across. Women were throwing their babies into the boats. Grown men were sobbing on the bank. Some just gave up. The elves hacked and cleaved their way freely through the mass of bodies. Then we heard it. Everything stopped. Everything went quiet. Even the children stopped crying. The elves held their swords and gaped in the direction of the sound. It was like a pulsating, rolling thunder, as if the sky itself was being torn apart. Then we saw it. The banner of Ragnar the Red, coming over the crest of the hill. 2 golden gilded longhorns each side, which sounded like the call of the anger of the gods. The thunder was the Nords bashing their swords against their shield wall. Then came the battle cry of 3,000 berserkers as they charged into the mass of Dominion troops. Even though they were outnumbered 3 to 1, the roar and cheer from both sides of the bank as the berserkers slew and slew and slew. The elves routed. Oh, how they ran. They were shown no mercy. No quarter was given. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. Ragnar rallied the remaining Redguard, held rearguard himself until every single survivor was brought to shore safely. I owe your father a debt of gratitude I could never repay. He was eventually blamed for that massacre. Rigmor, if ever you need me to testify, to clear your family name, I will be there in a heartbeat. You should be very proud of your father. He was greatly feared by his enemies and loved by his friends.
I think I now know why he never talked about the war. Thank you, Cassius. I'll remember that offer.
Now it seems things have come full circle, and total war could once again be upon us. It is such a pity that fool Ulfric seems to think it wise to pitch brother against brother. And for what? Freedom from the Empire? Skyrim needs the Empire. All this bickering, so petty. What is it he shouts? Skyrim for the Nords? I wonder what he has in store for those poor souls who are not Nords. The Stormcloaks and the Thalmor deserve each other. Once we all fought the same common enemy, together, side by side. Ah, the enemy of my enemy.
Is my friend.
You won't have any trouble from me. I can assure you Tullius will honor any forthcoming agreement. Your problem will be convincing Ulfric's Stormcloak. I hope Ingol can knock sense into his thick skull. We had better be going before any Stormcloaks arrive. Let's head back to camp. Like I said, I owe your father a debt of gratitude for my life. I would like you to have this.
Oh my. Cassius, it's beautiful.
It was my mother's. I want you to have it. Please, say you'll take it.
The stones are beautiful. What are they? Black diamonds? I've never seen these before.
When the time comes, Rigmor, you will know what to do with them. What is it? Farewell, until next time.
Yeah. I think I'm good.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Oh my. Yeah. Whatever. Dragonborn.